In today's episode, I'm really excited to bring you another high quality, cost cutting, inspired by fragrance, and this time it's from Middle Eastern brand Emir, which is part of the Paris Corner group. This one goes by the name of You're Drugged, and it smells exactly like one of my favourite niche scents. But to find out which one and everything else you need to know about this one, stay tuned to Mags Frags. Yes, hello again everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mags Frags. I'm Paul, and over the next 2 days I'm going to be talking about two really inexpensive but high quality fragrances that were very kindly sent over to me for review by the guys over at Aroma Concepts, who are an online retailer specialising in all the leading Middle Eastern brands. So if you haven't already checked out their website, I'll leave a link to it down in the description. And I want to start by saying that I'm not affiliated with Aroma Concepts whatsoever, and I don't get paid a single penny to review their products or to recommend their website. The arrangement is I get to keep whatever fragrance they send me, and that means I actually get to do a couple of reviews every once in a while that doesn't cost me a fistful of £10 notes for a change. So I was asked by them just to give my honest thoughts on the fragrance, and if I didn't like them it was absolutely fine. So please be assured that this is not an advertisement for this brand, and these opinions are my own. Right, so back to the fragrance, and this one is called You're Drugged, and it's part of the Shades Dark series from Emir Fragrances. It's a 100ml bottle size, and it comes in an eau de parfum concentration, and it's priced at £34 per bottle, but if you use the code SENT10 you'll get 10% off any order, and there's also free delivery on orders over £100. So into the presentation, and it comes in a plush tin container which is covered in like a soft touch velour material with metallic gold branding. On the front is the name of the fragrance and the Emir logo, and then at the bottom is the size and concentration. Around the back is the product information and also an authenticity hologram sticker at the top. And then at the top of the container we've got another Emir logo, which is slightly raised with like an embossed finish. To access the bottle, the top of the tin just pulls away, and then it just reveals this really expensive looking bottle design. And if I didn't already know the price of it, I'd say that I was looking at a really pricey niche scent. The bottle's extremely weighty with a solid metal cap that's got a lot of weight to it. You've got some intricate detail in there on the top of it. There's also a metal plate that wraps around the front of the bottle there, and that features some more like embossed branding on the front. This has a really premium quality feel about it, but I'm not too sure whether I'm a fan of this little bling tassel on the side, and I think it'd look a bit more stylish without that one on, but I'll see how annoying it becomes before I go and get the scissors from the kitchen drawer. The juice comes in this really it's like a dark red colour when you hold it up to the light, and I think it just looks really great. The atomizer is also really good quality, and the presentation is absolutely phenomenal on this one for the price that you pay, so great value for money. So the top note in this one is cardamom. In the heart there's nutmeg and cinnamon, and in the base there's coffee. So some of you hardcores out there may have recognised that note breakdown, and yes, this is a copy of By Killian's Intoxicated. I honestly didn't know that this was a copy of anything when it arrived in the post, and the guys over at Aroma Concepts didn't say it was inspired by anything in particular either. But from the initial spray, there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever what this is replicating, and it's very accurate to the original with the large dose of bitter green cardamom up top. There's also a spicy kick from the cinnamon, and then we've got a hint of sweet nuttiness from the nutmeg, and then everything everything is just like rounded off. We've got like some comforting roast coffee in the base. I didn't even need to do a side-by-side comparison because I've worn Intoxicated over 1,000 times and it's one of my favourite fragrances, and smelling this right now I'd be completely fooled if I was smelling it on someone else, and I wouldn't question that it wasn't the original. However, I did compare the two yesterday and I gave them a full wearing side by side, and if I was absolutely ultra critical, I'd say that there's just a touch more brightness in this in the opening, and also the coffee in the base isn't quite as prominent as the original when it dries down, but we're kind of talking minute differences which you can only identify when you have them side by side. If you've not smelled Intoxicated, then it has a bright and somewhat fresh and spicy opening with a really prominent cardamom note, which is fairly bitter. It transforms quite a bit through in the dry down into like a slightly more darker coffee-based fragrance with a really relaxed and kind of easygoing scent character. Yeah, I'd say this is like an easy, like Sunday morning kind of fragrance, and it always makes me think of the gentle ambience of a cosy coffee shop. This is a fragrance to enjoy as the wearer in like a relaxed setting, and it's not really one that I'd ever reach for if I was going out on a wild night out drinking. Its comforting and addictive scent character would make it a really nice date night scent, and it's one that I think shines the best in the cooler months of the year. It's a mature smelling fragrance, which I think is probably best suited to anyone over the age of 30, and it is definitely unisex and women could easily pull this one off. Yeah, this has a strong projection for the first hour, and then it settles right down and it sits fairly close to the skin for the next 4 to 5 hours. It will produce a nice, mild, intimate scent cloud, but it's definitely not a room filler or an attention grabber, unlike the one that I'm going to feature in tomorrow's episode, which is like rocket fuel, by the way. Like I said earlier, this is all about enjoying it as the wearer, and you'll get constant little wafts from it as you're moving about throughout the day. It's probably not quite as long lasting as the original, but at a tenth of the price, that's understandable. But overall, a really good performer for the price that you pay for this one. This is as accurate as you're likely going to get to the original Killian Intoxicated. It's a really close match and it's blended to a very high quality. The presentation is top notch and it's unbelievable value for money. However, not everyone will enjoy even how the original Intoxicated smells, especially in the opening, because the cardamom is quite prominent and it can come off a touch bitter. It wasn't a love at first sniff for me either, but I've just grown to love it over time and it has become one of my favourite fragrances now. So, and also, even if you do own the original, I'd definitely recommend picking up a bottle of this one, because you can then just wear this when you're kind of going about your day-to-day business or just chilling around the house, and if you don't want to waste your genuine juice. And honestly, I believe that nobody would ever know that you're not wearing the original with this one, and for that reason I'm going to give Emir You're Drugged a 10 out of 10. Yes, so once again, that's about it for today's scent of the day. But tomorrow I'm going to talk about the second one from Aroma Concepts, which has total nuclear performance, so make sure to look out for that one. And as always, if you found the video useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. It's always also great to hear all your opinions and your thoughts and your critiques and all of the fragrances that feature throughout these review videos, so keep your comments coming down in the comments section. And once again, thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Bye bye for now.